Welcome back to Suncoast View. Whether we like it or not, the days are getting shorter and it is getting darker earlier. And we'll soon turn back our clocks on November 3rd for daylight saving time. So this all means the morning or evening dog walks may soon be done in the dark. Mark Chambor, owner of K9 Korral in Sarasota, is here to help keep our pets and us safe. Welcome back, Mark.
Hey guys, how you doing?
And friend.
Yes, of
Adorable
course.
I've got Spencer here. He was on assignment last month, so he's back this month.
Well, we're glad that he's here, and I can see he's already demonstrating a collar that glows in the dark. Before we get into these important tips, because it is important that we protect ourselves as we're out in the dark, you always bring us some fun pictures of some of the dogs that are enjoying playtime at K9 Korral.
Yeah,
What are we looking at
what
here?
we've got here is that's actually a dog that's up for adoption, and that's Barney. And Brad is there, and he's taking him to an event for animal services in Manatee. These are all volunteers. There's Nilla and there's Dooley in the back, the big dog. He's up for adoption as well at the K9 Korral. What I'm showing is a lot of, well, there's Spencer with his buddy Howie.
Oh.
Spencer has become our official greeter at the front door. He greets
Perfect
people
job.
and
Yeah.
dogs. Well, there I am with Spencer, and that's how I carry Spencer around because, as you can see, he's handicapped. But sometimes it's easier to do that. This is Pam, and I think that's Kirby there. And she's like a professional volunteer. She volunteers at all the shelters and really puts her heart into it. That's Missy and Pam again. Missy was a dog that never really got out and just produced a lot of babies. So all these dogs they're either up for adoption or they've been adopted, but it's more about the people that give their time to adopt and take care and walk the dogs and do all the things at the shelter that they just need, my hat's off to them.
Oh, absolutely. We are very thankful for our volunteers that take care of all of the amazing pets here on the Suncoast. Like you mentioned, many are up for adoption. So at this time of year, we see that the sunlight is getting a little bit less, of course, as we are about to turn back our clocks. Also, I think as we're getting busier, we might be out with our dogs either earlier in the morning or later at night as we go for walks. You've put together a list of things to remember as we head out with our pets without as much daylight. So let's start with the first thing. Your first tip you have for us, it's more about our safety than our pets. So talk about
So you want to walk with a leash that's either reflective or one that I have a yellow one over there that's actually just
and we'll get to that one in a minute, but I like how you're telling us where we choose to walk the dogs. So we should be looking for well-lit areas, stay out of the dark.
Well-lit areas as far as, and it can get confusing even if they're well-lit. The other thing is if you don't have a sidewalk, walk against traffic. By walking against traffic, it's traffic, person, dog. That way the dog is out of harm's way. And like you said about the horses earlier, and there's a picture about with the traffic, it gets really confusing, and actually there's a person in that picture with the dog on the other side of the road.
Wow. Yeah.
Now I'm going to ask the obvious question. I think when we grew up, my parents always taught me ride your bike with traffic, but with the dog it's best to walk against.
I'm not exactly sure if it is a law. It goes way back, I believe, to when for hunting the dog was on the left. Most people are right-handed, except for myself. I'm a southpaw.
So it's to keep the dog, keep
out
a
of
barrier.
harm's way. Really, and today's purpose is really it lines up with no sidewalk, walk against traffic, and you'll keep the dog out of harm's way.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Now you alluded to the type of leash that we use, which brings us to your next tip. Talk about choices of leashes. Now you say to stay away from retractables.
Well, I would use retractables during the day if you're going to use them. Many people are they love their retractables. The thing is you should lock them if you're going to use them at night. People can trip on them. I tripped at the farmer's market during the day one time because it was like just a little string, and then it was my fault for tripping, and of course the ladies thought it was my fault. But I think they can be very dangerous, especially at night. And we were talking about walking against traffic. Well, if you have the retractable fully retracted, you don't know if your dog's going to go into traffic or not. So I would save those for the day and keep the dog closer to you at night when you walk your dog.
Oh, that's a good point.
And
yes.
then the choice of accessories, whether it's the leash or the collar, you talk about the use of reflectables, which I know that Spencer's wearing one, and we have some examples here. Talk to us about these.
Well, that's a reflectable lit leash which actually is pretty nice because it can charge up with a USB port, and you can charge it, and then all the lit ones you can charge. I like that because it's not only if it's not working, it's still nice and bright, and people will see you.
Does the light bother Spencer? Does the flashing lights bother a dog?
I don't. Well, first of all, he can't see it, but
That's a good point.
Yes.
but you know, traffic can scare a dog, and all the lights like we had in the
Right,
picture there. I also have reflectors on him. I kind of decked it out and got rid of the camo and put the red reflectors on, because then if I'm walking him at night, at least a car will shine on it.
Sure, and I didn't realize, I mean, I guess I know that there's a collar and a leash, but I didn't realize there's also some of these other accessories that you can just put on the dog.
I love that
What is
because
this?
it's actually it's supposed to be a collar, but I like to just set it, it's for my other dog, Toby, and I like to just set it over the dog but before the leash so it doesn't fall off, but it just hangs there and it just reflects. And
Gives another little indication when
I was
it
gonna
gets
say, that's a pretty
dark
big
out.
neck for a dog.
All right, now you
Yeah.
mentioned, and this one kind of surprised me, you recommend walking with a cell phone, and what is the reason?
Well, the only time I allow you to walk with a cell phone, please don't text. But you know, if you have an emergency, first of all, you need to have a cell phone.
Yeah.
If you're walking at night, especially in the dark, you have no idea if another dog's going to come up. You have no idea if a person's going to try to rob you. So having a cell phone works, but most importantly, there's a flashlight on
like
your
every
most cell
smartphone.
phones.
Yes.
Yeah, and that way you can pick up after your dog if it potties, so you don't have an excuse not to.
Yes, that's a great idea. So you have a flashlight at your hands, and also to protect ourselves from unwanted or surprise visitors. Talk to us about this spray.
This is a pet-safe spray shield. It's a citronella spray, which dogs tend to not like. So it sprays about 15 feet. It's not a mace where it'll hurt the dogs, but it will deter the dogs from coming toward you if you get a stray dog, or more importantly, raccoon, something that might come at you. I strongly stress that you wear that, or it clips on actually, and have it ready if you're walking at night, because you really don't know what's going to happen if
Best
it's
to
dark.
be prepared, especially the
Hang
dark.
out with the dogs
The
when
dark
it's
poses so many
Exactly.
challenges, but you
Yes,
have
it
great
does.
tips to keep us all safe. Thank you so much, Mark, and thank you, Spencer, for modeling.
Oh,
for
look
more
at that hair in the air.
for more information about all of your pet needs, including daycare and boarding, you can find K9 Korral on their website, K9KorralSRQ.com. Coming up next, do you know the game Operation? There's a fun, exciting event happening coming up we want to tell you all about. We'll be right back.